Yo, welcome everybody to the Back of the Bus podcast. I'm Black. He's half. He's once again not here. He is dealing with some family shit right now, so sending mad love to my boy. But fear not. I am not alone this time. You don't have to hear me alone for an entire hour. We brought back our sometimes third co-host.
Sure.
Plex is back here, so
what's going on, everyone?
We're gonna hit you with episode 4 of GOT.
Let's do it.
Remember, guys, you can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Podbean, YouTube. Not Stitcher or Spotify yet, but hopefully soon. You can find the Instagram page at Back of the Bus Podcast. You can email the show at backofthebusmiami@gmail.com. And there's a Twitter, I think, but I don't know because I don't have Twitter.
And what is it? 5 stars if you love us, 5 stars if you hate us.
That's right. Subscribe, rate, review. That helps us get more visibility. So the more reviews and shit that you guys write, the more that the Apple Podcast app will put this shit in people's faces. And that's pretty much it. We won't waste a lot of time with banter because I know Plex hates it. So this is what we're going to do with the show. We're going to kind of go beat by beat on what happened in the episode. Plex is going to stop banging into the table.
Yeah.
We're going to save all of the stuff that is Danny related for last because this is going to be a really Danny heavy episode of the podcast. There's been a lot of talk and controversy around her and the decisions that the showrunners are making with her and shit like that. So we really want to give that some depth. So we're going to kind of go through everything else and then we'll save anything that happened to Danny or kind of in her, the atmosphere for the end of the show. So that's pretty much it. We can get right into it. All right, so we start the show with the funeral scene. They've loaded up all of the fucking bodies on these funeral pyres, which must have taken a really long fucking time.
Yeah, just building those things, like god damn, that's exhausting.
Yeah. The really, John gives a speech, it's fine. Danny says goodbye to Jorah, it's very emotional. Sansa says goodbye to Theon, gives him the little wolf pin. I guess that's good little closure for him and the redemption arc that they were trying to tell with him. And that's it. And then we see Ghost all jacked up.
Yeah, which
we'll talk about later. And that's it. That's the funeral scene. Later on, they have like a feast. And the feast is kind of quiet and kind of subdued. And then Danny kind of stops everybody, legitimizes Gendry, makes him an official Baratheon, makes him Lord of Storm's End. There was one lovely little note on that, again, is for a little later when she's like, you will be a Baratheon because it is what I made you. And that's just that stuck me the wrong way, how she said that.
Yeah, but I think it kind of, shows that she feels she's already entitled and has that ability to just grant whatever she
wants.
Yeah.
I mean, it also was a smart move. I talked about that last week. I thought that...
Oh, it was genius. I
thought that there should have been more of that. I think there's other castles to dispense lordships to that are open. Riverrun, the Twins, so on and so forth. And there were people who were, really brave in that battle that I think she could have helped.
Yeah, just the Mormont, who's going to take over for the Mormonts.
Correct.
And,
So there, I thought maybe that should have been a little bit more and maybe a little bit less of the next thing, which was kind of like the drinking game with Jaime, Brienne.
Yeah, she also cheers Arya as the hero of Winterfell.
True that. She does. She does mention that. Good call. Kind of tied to that, after Gendry gets legitimized, he goes, proposes to Arya. Arya friend zones the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Skirt.
So that was interesting.
Which was the right move. It would have been dumb for her to be like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
That's not her.
However, I think, can't there be a middle ground? Can she say, yeah, I'll marry you, but I'm not going to be a lady? Like, she can have both.
Well, I mean, listen, she can have both after everything plays out at the end. Her last, her...
Sure, but then tell him that, right? Like, don't just shut him down.
But why? I mean, she can really just show up.
That's true.
Just knock on his door like, hey,
Hey, I'm going to murder your wife, wear her face, and I'm good.
Now that everything's done, maybe I'll settle down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, whatever. She doesn't have to.
Before we get to the drinking stuff, we do have like that whole bit where everyone's kind of celebrating and everybody's talking about how much of a fucking badass Jon was for riding the dragon and how he came back to life and nobody seemed fucking surprised by this.
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone's just like, oh yeah, he rides dragons, he comes back to life. Yeah, okay, that happens every day.
Yeah, chilling. And Danny's kind of sitting there, kind of sad. We have
super sour grapes.
Starbucks Gate.
Yeah.
Which, me and you talked about a little bit before the show, before we started recording. Is like, why does anybody care?
It's just something to nitpick. It's,
Like, did you notice?
No. While I was watching it, no. I only noticed after it was pointed out, like, the following day.
And does knowing that affect, like, your experience having watched the show?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, me neither.
I'd like to know what she was drinking, though.
Sure.
Or who it was that left the cup there, because now a lot of people are suspecting it was Sansa that did it just to make her look bad.
Yeah, I saw this one post where somebody was showing that she had a start. It's like, you don't know if that's that same day.
That could have been taken at any time.
And anybody drinks coffee. I doubt Sansa's the only.
Maybe
Anyway,
it's
whatever.
tea.
True that.
Danny looks like a tea drinker.
Then you do have that conversation with Sansa and the Hound that we can talk a little bit about, because there's been some controversy about, you know, the line that she says when he's like, oh, if you would have come with me, none of that fucked up shit would have happened to you. And then she goes, if that fucked up shit doesn't happen to me, I wouldn't be who I am or whatever. And a lot of people have taken that in a bad context. They kind of feel like she's saying that she needed to get raped to be a stronger person.
I don't think that's
how they meant it either.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, I don't think anybody condones rape, but I mean, we briefly spoke about this. I mean, there's a lot of people that triumph after really unfortunate shit happens to them, man. I mean, it really does make them stronger people.
Right.
And I'm not saying, you know, rape is that one thing or whatever. It could be, there's a lot of people that come from poverty that bust their ass and, you know, their parents go to jail or they have to go through the adoption thing or, you know, a bunch of tragic shit. You know, they get molested, whatever. And it turns them into stronger people. Some people, unfortunately, don't ever get past it. But there's some people that it does make them stronger people.
Yeah. And I think that the point that they were trying to make is that she was a naive kid, and the brutalities of the world opened her eyes.
Yeah, because I mean, all that stuff happened to her when she was, 14, 15,
yeah,
16?
that's when it starts, right? When she's in King's Landing and Ned gets beheaded.
She's a kid. And
now, you know, ultimately, does she have to have some of that already in her so that it can come out through her life experiences? Sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't think the showrunners meant it that way. I think that's getting maybe a little bit.
It's our day and age now. Every little thing gets critiqued and detailed, and everybody wants to have an opinion on every little thing that happens. And, you know, some people just kind of take stuff out of context.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If that's the context that the showrunners meant it in, then it's fucked up.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's how it was meant. And we'll just leave it at that before we get ourselves in trouble. What else? All right. So then Tormund comes and shoots a shot with Brienne.
So disappointing.
My boy gets shut down.
I was hoping that would just happen.
Fucking giant redhead babies that they had.
Dude, just crazy
awesome.
Viking, Amazon, redheaded,
awesome
monster children.
You know, you have the drinking game, you know, the whole thing that Brienne's a virgin, she leaves, Jaime goes, drops the hammer.
Which was, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they could have shortened that by about 5 minutes.
No, it's not shortened or lengthened the scene. It's just, I just didn't like the way it went. I would have liked to see, at the end of it, you know, her with the giant baby.
With Tormund?
Yeah.
I mean, it could still happen. We don't know what's going to happen with Jaime.
Well, I mean, he's leaving. He's going north. And
yeah, but I'm sure if he hears that,
he's going to turn right back
around. And then, kind of like wrap that up. You know, Jaime and Brienne bone. You know, it is what it is. I understand, because that's the kind of the arc that the characters were following. And you needed to have the high point for Jaime before we get to this next point.
I mean, that's a really low high point for him, though. He's had to have had other high points on the show, but
no. I mean, high point as in, you know, this person who's always seen the.
I think it's a higher point for her.
Sure,
but
no, I think the high point for her was getting knighted by Jaime and the validation of her life's mission,
all her hard work. Yeah,
and the reason why I say this is a high point for Jaime is because he's never slept with anybody who's not Cersei in his whole life. Everyone's always looked at him like a piece of shit, you know, Kingslayer, lousy Lannister, bastard, whatever, and, you know, sister fucker, whatever. And then here is this person, like, literally giving herself to him and showing him the kind of love that he really has never really gotten from Cersei. So just as an emotional high point in his character arc, I think that's what I mean by high point.
we'll talk later about where that gets her.
Right. You know, and then we get the scene with Bronn, Jaime, and Tyrion,
which I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bronn's great.
It was a little. There were certain things that kind of didn't make sense to me.
Okay. Bronn shows up with the crossbow, threatens to kill them, tells them to double the offer, like the deal they'd already made.
Yeah.
Says he was already promised River Run, and then Tyrion offers him Highgarden after he punches Tyrion in the nose, which is great. So what was your beef with that?
My thing is, I mean, at this point, like, why is he trusting a Lannister? You know, like, they've promised some other things, and yeah, they've kind of delivered, but kind of haven't. You know.
Well, I mean, so Tyrion got him to be a knight. Jaime did get him the wife in the castle, pulled him out to go on the Dorne mission, but he got it to him.
Yeah, but then, I mean, where's the wife in the castle now?
Yeah, granted.
You know, so it's like, I don't know, to me, it's like to the point where, like, if I were him, I'm like, how are you going to guarantee that I get Highgarden? How you know, first of all, you got to survive the fight. You got to hope your sister loses. You got to hope you're still in good standing enough with the queen that she allows. That you can deliver Highgarden. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's a really big promise for him just to be like, okay, you know, like, I don't know. That's the one part that kind of had me. I mean, obviously, I didn't want to see either one of them die.
Right.
But, you know, on Bronn's end, it's just kind of, you know, how much can you really trust them?
No, I hear you. I'd be interested to see if we see Bronn again on the show, or if this is
I don't think we will.
You think this is it? This was just the capper?
Yeah.
Remind everybody that the thing, tie up the crossbow offer, and I mean the gold offer for the crossbow, whatever. And that's it.
I think so.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, he may show up for like 10 seconds if.
On the last episode, maybe.
On the last episode, if they actually win.
And actually give him Highgarden.
And, you know, just come and knock on the door like, hey, I'm here to collect my, you know, your debt, whatever,
sure.
You know. But let's see.
Next, we get Jon saying his goodbyes after, you know, the strategy session, which we'll get to in a little bit. So then Jon says goodbye to Sam. He and Gilly. He finds out that they're pregnant, that if his boy's going to be named Jon.
Yeah, it's all...
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
He says peace out to Tormund. Tormund tells him, you know...
Yeah, he's going north.
He's going north. He's taking the wildlings back. Jon offers him that he could stay. You know, I would have maybe tried to give him Bear Island. But Tormund says that they feel like they need to roam, whatever, live to their roots. He also makes this little line to Jon about, you belong in the north, you have the north in you, whatever. And Jon's like, I wish. Which is kind of weird because, like... I don't know. I just think it's a weird line for him to just for them to just throw in there like that. And then we have one of the biggest tragedies on this show, which is poor Ghost, half an ear, bloody, fucked up. Jon can't even go pet the dude. The schmucks at HBO were talking about that, you know, because of the CGI or whatever, they didn't have Jon go say goodbye. But here's the bigger issue for that, and I mean, I guess we could have saved this for predictions, but fuck it. This goodbye right here tells me Jon is dead. Jon does not survive this.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that in predictions because I think there's about 5 ways they can go with it. 3 of them are extremely predictable, and I don't think are going to happen. The 2 that I'm really interested in, we'll kind of touch on.
Okay, but to me,
I think him saying all those goodbyes and all that stuff is a symbol that, you know, it's not going to end well for him. And somebody made the comment that, you know, the Starks don't fare well.
Yeah, they've always said that. Yeah. And they've kind of hammered that idea in our heads.
Yeah, they've kind of brought it up again.
But to me, the thing is, every time one of these people has left their direwolf behind, bad shit has happened. Robb locks Grey Wind in the cage, gets red weddinged. Sansa loses Lady early on when Ned has to kill her. Look at all the fucked up shit that happened to Sansa. Arya makes Nymeria, kicks Nymeria away, makes her leave. This and that and the other. Look what happens to all the shit that Arya goes through after that.
Yeah, but Arya's is the only one that I would say it's not all bad.
It was at one point it was pretty bad.
Yeah, when she was blind and she was begging for food.
But before that, she was a captive at Harrenhal. She had to be Tywin Lannister's fucking cupbearer. Like, she was literally...
they're still worse than that.
She was literally in the mouth of, like, in the hands of the enemy.
Yeah, well,
You know, yeah, it's not as bad as some of the
the blind begging for food on the streets of some
Yeah.
weird place she's never been to is a little
It got
worse.
really
but
bad. So John, and then Ghost has always been so fucking loyal to John. He rushed in to charge the army of the dead with the cavalry instead of.
But I think that's why they should have just killed him. They're saying, hey, okay, you know, he's there, he fights, one 10-second scene of him biting a White Walker's face, and then he gets overwhelmed and he dies. And, like, what's the point of bringing him back just for John, to show him twice in a 10-second scene and John to be like, all right, you can take him by. And
Here's what I would have liked. He goes with them on the march south. Arya would have been marching with them. They run back across Nymeria in her pack. Ghost joins the pack. I think that would have been a far better.
It would have been great, but
tie-up.
then it's just a story arc that, like, they're gonna waste time on when they don't have a lot of time to waste.
Yeah.
And the CGI and the money and all that stuff just to do, farewell to a dog that's like, I don't know.
I thought whatever. I
think it would have been cooler. 5-second fight scene of him biting something and blah blah blah. He gets overwhelmed. He's dead. Okay, let's move on.
I get you. Ultimately, the writers on the show, and maybe it's budget related, like you've said. I think the wolves got really short shrift on the show.
Yeah,
I think the wolves didn't play the role that they were meant to play in the story. Certainly not even to this point, what the role they played in the books to this point. And I don't think they played the role they were meant to play in the long run in the story, what George would have had planned.
Yeah.
Then the last piece before we get to Dany, Arya leaves with the Hound to set up the Clegane Bowl. Obviously, they're both they're going to King's Landing. I love that question when he's like, "Would you leave me to die again?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I thought that was great. And I hope we get some of that.
Yeah,
buddy cop thing again.
Their little relationship has been good since day one.
Yeah.
It's been, obviously the first episode everyone was a little pissed off when they had just that quick interaction and it was like, damn, come on, that after all this time. But they have a good chemistry.
Yeah, there's good chemistry between the actors and the characters. I think fit well together. So I'll be interested to see what Arya's going to do when she gets down to King's Landing. We'll talk about that in the predictions later. So that pretty much wraps up all of the non-Dany related or kind of in the space that Dany occupies. We're going to get pretty heavy into Dany talk now.
I am Daenerys Stormborn of the blood of old Valyria, and I will take what is mine. With fire and blood, I will take it.
There's been a lot of talk about how the showrunners have been writing Dany, how people feel about her. Obviously, she's got a lot of people who are rabid, crazy fans of hers on the show. And so I want to preface everything that we're going to say with this, as far as I'm concerned. You could add your 2 cents in a minute. I love Dany's character. I've always identified more with the Starks. I like the Starks. That's who I root for. But that's never stopped me from rooting for Dany. My favorite scene, I'm on the record. You can check the Instagram page. My favorite scene in the history of this show is the sack of Astapor, and it's Dany. I love Emilia Clarke. I love how she plays the role. There's few things on this earth hotter than Emilia Clarke as Dany talking in Valyrian. Like, that shit just gets me every single time. It's incredible. Her character arc has been, it got bogged down a little bit in Marine.
Yeah.
But it's been really interesting.
Yeah, it's been great.
And, we're going to talk a little bit about the Mad Queen shit later and how we feel about that. But I don't think that's the route we're going to go. We'll get deeper into that. That being said, if we're ignoring the showrunners and we're talking about the character and her motivations and her actions, I think she bears a lot more responsibility for the situation she finds herself in than people are willing to, put on her. Everyone's just kind of like making all these excuses for her and defending her blindly like crazy. And I think we can take a step back a little bit and kind of analyze that a little deeper. So that's my 2 cents about her. Where do you stand about her before we kind of chew it up a little bit?
Yeah, no, very similar. I am, I've been rooting for the Starks. Obviously, I think Ned was the main character of the first season. We know what happened to him. Then Robert became like, it was like, yeah, Rob, look what happened to him. Then it became Jon. And I agree. I like the Starks. My favorite character on the whole show has been actually Littlefinger. I think his character is just fantastic.
Sure.
Tyrion, I love. and I've always been a fan of Dany, but the last few episodes, you kind of see, a little jealousy, a little darkness, a little, kind of stupidity at times from her. That's just kind of like, you don't know which way it's going to lean.
Yeah.
She'll do something. We spoke about the episode she had when she's talking to Sansa, talking about the North, Sansa talks about the North, and you said, she should have replied this way. Instead, she gets all pissy and pulls her hand away.
Yeah.
And whatever. And that's little things like that are kind of like, yeah, really?
Right. No, I hear you. And we're gonna get into that specifically in a little bit. But let's kind of just go over like what happened with her, and then we'll get into like the nitty gritty of the analysis of it all. So, first thing that we see Dany at the feast. She legitimizes Gendry. Boom, great. She has that conversation with Tyrion about how it's strategy and how he's not the only clever one, whatever. Then we get
it was a great move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Genius.
And just keep that in mind about genius and when we get to the Mad Queen talk. Then we get to the Dany and Jon conversation, right, where she tells him not to tell anybody that he's a Targaryen. She seems to finally have accepted it. I thought maybe when they were talking about the dragon riding and shit like that, besides just the fact that she was kind of jealous that they were praising him and not her, I thought maybe that also sparked a little bit something in her, like just the way her face kind of changed a little bit. I thought it was like, oh shit, yeah, he did fucking ride a dragon, like it's all good. So maybe I was just reading too much into that.
Yeah,
but
to me it felt like it was just pure jealousy. Like she was just like, I can't believe, like no matter what I do, they keep looking at this guy as,
right.
even though they don't know,
right,
that he does have rights to the throne, like.
Yeah,
no matter what I do, they're going to look at him as.
Then you get the... So, one thing I want to touch on about that conversation with Jon. I think for the people who keep saying, well, Jon fucked up, Jon should have kept it a secret, we'll get to that. Here's my problem. Jon has been a bastard his whole life. He was treated like shit by his supposed stepmother. Because he was proof of Ned's affair, and she resented Jon for it. She couldn't resent Ned for it, so she resented Jon for it, and she treated him like shit his whole life. Obviously, we didn't see his whole life up to when he was 15, 16, but we saw a couple of exchanges between them, and we heard Kat say,
when my husband brought that baby home from the war, I couldn't bear to look at him. I didn't want to see those brown stranger's eyes staring up at me. So I prayed to the gods. Take him away. Make him die. All this horror that's come to my family. It's all because I couldn't love a motherless child.
This has been his identity his whole life, and he's been trying to fight against that identity and against that stigma of who he is his whole life. He finally finds out a truth about himself, which is fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And you don't want him to share that with the two people that he loves the most in this world? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That's an unreasonable thing to ask.
And he's stuck between the woman he loves and his family.
Right.
Even though they're not really... Yeah, I mean, they're family, but they're not like... But
the thing is, family,
yes.
there might not be the blood related the way they thought they were. They still are. He's still half Stark.
Yeah.
But it's the family you were raised with.
Yeah. And Arya told him, when they hugged and stuff, he was saying, this is my queen, this and that. And, she said, we're your family. And she's like, remember that.
Right.
That's tough, man. It's a shit situation.
I just think it's unreasonable. I understand why she would have said it. I just think it's unreasonable for her to ask that. Number one. Number two.
But he also has to be a little smart. He has to kind of see it from her point of view. Like, even though he doesn't want the crown, that's where everybody's going to be,
I get you.
Like, pushing.
I understand. The problem with that, though, her blindness for wanting the throne is causing him to do the one thing we've always seen Jon incapable of doing. Jon never lied.
He's never
Jon
lied.
could have lied at the Dragon Pit to Cersei last year, the way Cersei lied to them, right? When he was like, oh, if Jon stays out of it, we'll back you. And he's like, I can't lie, I already bent the knee, whatever, boom. Like, he's always been this honorable dude. It's been
Yeah.
the benchmark of his life.
And that's why he has the following that he has.
Correct. So I think for her to ask that was unreasonable. And I think it put them in a worse position than it already started. And here's the other thing. She was already disposed at some point, and she's already shown an understanding of having a marital alliance. She did it in Marine when she married that noble, his daughter, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
My girl, what in that spot, why don't you just say, look, bro, let's just get married and call it a day. I love you, you love me, you want to get married?
The thing is, the blindness for the throne doesn't want... She doesn't want to do that because she doesn't...
She doesn't want to share it.
Yeah, she doesn't want to share it. She feels, especially after what she just saw at the feast, that they're going to want to back him.
Right.
You know,
that even if she's
like,
queen, if they get
but
married,
you're the queen. Now he's the king.
That she's going to get relegated. Yeah, I get it.
She's going to have to give up power to him, and she doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, but that's on her, dude.
Yeah, listen, it's always a bad situation when your woman makes you pick between her and your friends, or your family. Her and your family.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to end up bad.
Yeah. So then, all right. So then they have that conversation. Then we have the battle planning session, right? They decide whether they're, she wants to go right now. Sansa tells her, why don't you chill, let everyone rest, let everybody heal. Boom, then we go. Immediately she turns it into, oh, you don't want to back my play, you don't want to support me, after everything I did for you, da-da-da-da.
Which is not what she was saying. She's not saying, hey, you go, my people are going to stay here and rest. They're just saying, let everybody rest.
Right.
Everybody needs to kind of relax,
right. So that's some of the things I've seen, some of the criticism I've seen from people is that Sansa didn't mean it. That Sansa really was trying to stall so that she can make a move on Dany, whatever.
It could be
possible,
but
it's still not bad
advice. It's still a logical piece of advice. Like, hey, we just fought. Like, we can't just march 2-3 weeks, whatever, down there and fight another war. We gotta have time to rest, which is logical.
Not to mention, your dragon needs to heal. You have a wounded dragon.
Yeah.
You have two of the most powerful weapons in the game, and one of them is not at 100%. What's so unreasonable about waiting until he's good? Because they showed that he wasn't flying well from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? So give him a chance. Let it ride. And, you touched on this earlier about what we talked about off the air about Sansa and Dany. And everybody's always talking about the relationship between Sansa and Dany and how Sansa's been shady with Dany from the beginning and how she's never accepted her and how the North's never accepted her and how they should be more grateful because of everything she sacrificed for the North. And what we talked about was, what is the sacrifice that she made? She lost 2 dragons and she lost most of her army. Okay. I grant that she showed incredible bravery on the battlefield. I'm not taking anything away from Dany in this spot. However, let's play this out. Go back to Jon coming to Dragonstone and asking Dany for help. Dany says, no, I'm good. I got to go deal with Cersei. You go do your thing.
Yeah, we'll meet up later.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll deal with you after.
Mm-hmm.
Jon goes back north. Maybe they don't even have the dragon glass conversation. Maybe they do. Who knows? However, they don't have Gendry the armorer because he's with fucking Jon. Jon goes back north. The Night King marches on Winterfell. They all get wiped out. They just get rolled.
Yeah.
Now Dany's beat Cersei. 3 dragons intact. Dany's beat Cersei. Boom, chilling. But now here comes the Night King, marching down Westeros to get to King's Landing. What defense does Dany have against the Night King? She's got no dragon glass because they haven't mined it and they haven't made the weapons from it. She's got no Valyrian steel because Sam gives Jorah the Valyrian steel sword. That wouldn't have happened if that doesn't happen. And she's got no defense. Here comes the Night King. Ice spear. 3 dead dragons.
Yeah, immune to dragon fire.
Yeah, he tanks the dragon fire when she Dracarys him, and he's just like, whatever.
And the other thing is, it might not even get to that point. We still don't know exactly what would have happened had the Night King taken Bran.
Right, correct.
He could take Bran, take his warging power, and warg into her and do whatever. I mean, he could have done a gazillion things. We don't know because that part of the story was never revealed to us.
Sure.
But I mean,
Either
yeah,
way, if the North falls, doesn't matter if Dany beats Cersei.
Yeah.
Dany loses.
Yeah.
Night King wins. Show's over. There's no getting around that. There's no magical fucking thing that was gonna happen that was gonna save it. They already displayed.
They needed each other. The North needed them. They needed the North. They worked well. It's just
It did cost her a great deal.
Yeah,
I
but
get it.
It cost the North a great deal too.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, if she doesn't go up there, she die. It's over. It's over. There's no Arya, the Ninja, the Night King. It's over.
Yeah.
Maybe we see the fucking General White Walker dudes actually do something, but either way, she loses. So, like, we have to understand that, and we have to stop. Kind of like, oh my god.
My only thing is, how does the Night King get past the wall without the dragon to burn a hole in the wall?
All right, so in the books, and again, I know they didn't establish this on the show, but they could have, and it would have been a way around it. In the books, there are two like legendary horns that exist in the world. One of them is Dragonbinder, which Euron Greyjoy has, and he intends to use it to steal one of Dany's dragons and bind to his will. And then the other one is the Horn of Yoramund, who was a king beyond the wall, who supposedly that horn was made to bring down the wall. So that could have been something they could have easily just written into the show 4 seasons ago. And because in the books, the speculation is that's what the Night King has. Nobody was anticipating bad plan to send dragons up north to feed one to the Night King.
Yeah.
So, that's...
So he may have still had a way... They just didn't touch up on it.
Correct.
Show. Okay.
So, whatever. The moral of the story is that Dany dies. Everybody dies if she doesn't go north and the events don't play out exactly the way they played out. So this whole shit about Sansa and the North should be super grateful to Dany. Like, let's chill a little bit. All right. Here's the other point about that. There's this whole conversation about, why don't they trust her if they trusted Theon after all the shit he did, but they've never trusted Dany. The Stark girls suffered just as much, if not more, than Dany has suffered throughout the course of the show. Would you agree?
Sansa, definitely.
Right. I mean, Arya had to witness her father die. She had to lose her mother and her brother. Like, Dany lost all of these family members before she was born.
Yeah, except for her one brother. Who
she had killed, pretty much.
Yeah.
These people lost almost their entire family, except for the two of them and Jon. And Bran, during the course of this show, right? They witnessed their father get beheaded, everything. And they didn't have the benefit of having birthed 3 dragons to always give them that hope. There were points in this show where Sansa was literally beyond hope. Yeah. Her best hope was Theon fucking Greyjoy.
Greyjoy.
Okay? Not Drogon, Rhaegar, Theon fucking Greyjoy was her best hope. So they have every right not to be trusting of anybody because they've been fucked over by everybody around them except themselves. Number one. Number two, Sansa's 100% right. We took the North back. Right? We took it back. So why should we just willingly surrender it to you? We don't know you. Yeah, you helped us. We'll help you take the 7 kingdoms. And we talked about this before we started and you mentioned it earlier. That conversation could have gone so different. The one from episode 2 when Sansa and Dany are talking. Yeah. And it's just like, well, what about after? Why, Dany couldn't just be like, hey, let's win the Iron Throne. We'll deal with the Night King. We'll deal with Cersei. And then we can talk about what to do with the North. I want to help you. I want you to help me in return. And then we can have these conversations. Instead of getting all icy and paranoid and defensive, I think that's where we could have went with that, and it would have made a big difference in how she appears to Sansa. Like, all right, but she's reasonable. I could fuck with her, as opposed to just like, well, fuck you then, bitch. Yeah, So that was my whole shit with that.
And this is kind of one of my theories as to why I think something's gonna happen. Later at the end. Yeah. Okay. I think they're doing this on purpose because I think it's gonna build to a bigger.
Okay. A bigger twist.
Yeah.
All right. So then back to the rundown. So
after that defense strategy thing or the attack strategy is the scene where Jon is talking to
Sansa, Arya, and Bran.
Now, The big thing that pissed me off here is why are they not showing the reaction of the two sisters?
All right, so they talk about his parentage, and he makes them swear. Doesn't tell them like the consequences of breaking their vow.
Well, yeah, that's one thing that kind of pissed me off. Like this is world altering, like mind blowing, epic proportion shit.
I mean,
like,
I get you don't want to threaten your sisters, but
no, but I mean, but they need to know because their life is gonna be in danger.
Yeah,
because of it. I mean, it's not to say that Danny's gonna just have them beheaded, but they know like world changing.
It's like if I got the nuclear codes tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like there's no way I live fucking to see Friday.
Or Trump's actual tax records.
Right. So, yeah, and I agree with you 100%, dude. As I was watching it, one of the things I said right away was, why did you just cut away from that?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. It's not a 15-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Bran is very to the point. He's not going to beat around the bush. He's going to be like, well, this is what I know. Boom, 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 boom.
This is what Sam knows.
This is what Sam knows. This is the truth. Quick reaction on the girls' faces, looking at Jon like, oh my God, and shock. And that's it. That whole scene could have taken a minute.
Yeah.
Minute and a half tops.
Give me a little less time of Jamie taking off Brienne's clothes and give me those 60 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Those 60 seconds. Even if you add it on to the end of the, like, what's an extra 60 seconds?
Yeah. I'm still holding out hope that they're going to show that in some form later. Like they'll go back to it and kind of.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I mean.
I think that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. Then we get to another major thing that's been going around is about the conversations between Tyrion and Varys. Varys, who's been a pointless character since he started teleporting around and recruiting Dorne.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, feels like he wants to be. And this one I do understand, like the Dany fans, anger about, because hasn't been helpful.
No.
Let's also state she's gotten some really shit advice from these people.
Yeah.
She's got some shit advice from Tyrion.
From a lot of people.
She got some shit advice from Varys. She got some shit advice from Tyrion again. Like, he bears a lot of this, right? She's been led astray by the same people who are now talking about whether or not they want to overthrow her for Jon because she's unworthy.
Yeah. I'm not very.
Yeah, I haven't been crazy about that at all. So on that, I'm with you guys 100%. They, that whole sequence is just really weird, and I think it's just done to set up unnecessary tension that the show doesn't need.
Like this whole like, oh, I do everything for the realm, like.
No, I get it.
Yeah, no, I get it too. But come on, man. Like now, after 4 seasons, you're just gonna be like. Well, she's not worthy.
Yeah,
I saw the pissed off look on her face at that feast, and then
that's the problem. I'd back his argument more if she'd done more to demonstrate.
Yeah, listen,
to validate his fears.
She goes to a town and burns everybody alive because they don't want to join her army. Okay, red flag.
Right. The one thing that she did was burn Dickon Tarly and Randall Tarly. That was the one thing where you can look back at it and be like, all right, dude, maybe Randall fine, but maybe you should have just ordered your men to move Dick on aside.
Yeah.
Even if he wanted to die with his father.
Terrible name,
yeah. Maybe you just fucking make him move. It's not like that's not within your power.
Yeah.
Have a couple of Dothraki, time to a fucking horse and ride him away if you want. Who cares? But don't do that.
But that's it. I mean,
that was
all the great.
That was the one thing that I was like,
all the people she's freed, all the other things she's done. That one little bad move.
Yeah, she's threatened to burn them all a few times, and she's always allowed them to talk her out of it. I don't think she's done enough for them to invalidate her in that sense. Her obsession with the throne. But it wasn't even they.
It's just him.
No, Tyrion's concerned about it.
Tyrion. He has it in the back of his head. But
here's the problem.
He's still backing her.
But if he was really 100% backing her, he would have went straight to her and told her what Varys was planning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's hedging his bets.
Oh, of course. I mean, he is a smart dude.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes you gotta play both sides.
Sometimes his smartness, his intelligence hasn't been that intelligent because he's been responsible for a lot of the L's that she's taken. I don't blame her for being upset. I don't blame her. Listen, even the Tarleys, yo, she gave him a chance. Bend. She shouldn't have killed both of them, but she gave him an out, and they didn't take it. She hasn't done enough for Varys to be on this tip right now.
No.
And that's
not
unnecessary
after all
tension.
the seasons that he's been by her side. And
not only that, but before that, planning and keeping her safe and setting up her assassination, but then sending a message to keep her from being assassinated.
His history with her, it just doesn't justify.
Yeah. He's the one who got Tyrion to her to begin with and told her, look, there's this person who's great and awesome and has the right name and whatever. And now he's worried about she don't have a cock?
Yeah.
Like, how come that wasn't a worry before? I don't know. I agree with everybody on that. Here's another question I have for you. So Jon knows this secret, and he finds out. He tells Sansa and Dan and Arya, cool. Then Tyrion finds out from Sansa. Why is Davos, who has given Jon some of the best advice, left out of this equation? Why didn't Jon tell Davos? Why didn't Tyrion and Varys bring Davos into this conversation? Like, that's a dude that has been integral to all of the shit that's been going on.
Yeah, that dude survived with very little battle experience. Like he said himself.
Yeah, he got really lucky.
Yeah, he's been.
And if he survived, why wasn't it for this? Yeah. What's the storytelling choice?
Jon's not going to say anything. Jon told his sisters because that's his family. Like you said, he's an honest guy. He doesn't want to keep a secret. He still wants to try to find a way for everybody to
coexist.
Live in, peace, love, and harmony, and all that bullshit. So he's not going to willingly go out and say something. Now, why Tyrion doesn't say something? Why? And I mean, Varys maybe in the next episode might start whispering in people's ears about it. We don't know, but I can see why Jon wouldn't say anything to anybody. I mean, Jon didn't even tell Sam, like, hey, listen, I told my sisters, make sure that they don't say anything. Yeah,
that was another thing. Why aren't you swearing Jon to the same Sam to the same secrecy that you're swearing Sansa and Arya?
Well, because
Sam was very vocal about the same shit that Tyrion and Varys are.
Yeah, but
So why didn't we get that?
I think he sees the friction between the two sisters and sees a reason why they would want to spread that news.
She killed his parents.
Yeah, well, I mean, his dad was a prick anyways.
Yeah, I guess.
To him, at least.
Well, she killed not his parents. She killed his dad and his brother.
Yeah, I mean, they were assholes to him anyways.
No, not really the brother. The brother, it was kind of just whatever. Anyway, I get your point. I think that this is information that... Because Davos was Jon's hand, right? And this is information that Davos could do something with. He was the one who proposed a couple of episodes ago that they get married.
Yeah. No, listen, the guy's good.
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's going to end up finding out very soon.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be by Jon or Danny, but he's going to find out very soon about that whole thing.
All right, so then after all of these conversations with Varys and Tyrion, Dany's fleet sailing to Dragonstone, and you get Dany riding Drogon and Rhaegal in the air, and then you get what for me was a fucking shocking development, which was Scorpion Bolt to Rhaegal. Rhaegal dies. When we talked about it earlier, you said you saw it coming?
Yeah, the second I saw that scene, for some reason, I see them flying. It's just them in the sky. There's no, they're not showing the boats underneath or anything dramatic. It's just them in the sky. I literally said, "Oh, they're screwed."
Yeah, no.
Like it had a feeling like
when I was sitting in the same chair, and when that first bolt hit, I popped up out of the chair. I said, "Oh shit!" And then when that one went through his neck, that shit was gnarly, dude.
Yeah, no, it's a cool scene. My issue with it was just...
It's impossible.
Very implausible. Not impossible, but very implausible. These things were just created. Like, there's not a ton of these things around. Everybody on the boats is like a master marksman all of a sudden.
Yeah.
They apparently, at least from the scene, the dragons are flying. There's a, ridge or whatever, mountain ridge there, and the boats are behind it, and all of a sudden, like, they just shoot direct shots over the mountain ridge and hit the dragons.
Yeah, that shit didn't make any sense. Yeah, because, first of all, they're thousands of feet up in the air, or hundreds of feet up in the air. Okay, hundreds of feet up in the air. she should have been able to see. If they have line of sight to her, she has line of sight to them.
Easily.
So
she really should have had line of sight to them before. She should have seen the top of the masses of the sails and this and that before they even had a clear shot of her.
That's just bad writing by the showrunner's part. It's kind of the same shit that we talked about with the battle plan from last week's episode. That's just bad writing. There's no way that dragon should have been shot in the air. And to your point,
3 perfect shots, like at a moving target.
Correct.
Like, it's not like they just said fire and like you see 40 of these things flying in the air and a couple of them hit them. And I mean, it's 3 just boom, boom, boom. Like,
so some people are of the belief that it was Euron who hit all 3 shots. I think maybe it was just like 3 of the shots of all those boats hit. But either way, 3 shots hit the dragon that should not have hit the dragon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to mention, they've severely overpowered these scorpions to begin with. Like,
dude, they are. It's like a catapult. Like, you load it, you shoot it, you hope you freaking hit something 400 yards away, and you load it again. It takes 15 minutes or 20 minutes to load one of these damn things.
Yeah. But to shoot it up,
like
at an upward angle, at a moving target, like, and expect it to carry that much force. Like, the dragon would have had to been flying really low, and they weren't.
No.
Because by the time that shit got up there, gravity should have already started.
It started arcing downward. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
There's so much that's so bad about that.
And then, like, I think the part that pissed me off the most was the following scene was, Dany gets pissed off and she starts charging. They start wailing shots at her. Nothing hits her.
Right.
30 of these bolts all of a sudden. Now
we'll have an argument about that.
Whatever. Now it's super difficult to hit somebody with these things. And then, like, she realizes, okay, this is maybe not a good idea. Let me fly. Like, why not just circle around the island, get them from behind, and just burn all those boats alive?
Yeah.
Like, they can't turn those things around and shoot backwards because they have their sails and their masses in the way. They can't turn the boats around because that takes way too long.
Yeah, correct.
You fly off to the side. You get behind that mountain that apparently wasn't there to begin with. You circle around. It'll take her 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know how fast dragons. I haven't ridden one in a while, but you circle around that fucking island. You get them from behind. You burn them up. There's nothing that they would be able to do.
Correct.
Your boats would still be floating. Instead, no, just you fly away. They have clear shots. Apparently, again, these things are super overpowered. Freaking ballistas.
Yep.
They just boom, 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 tear up through the 15 ships that she had, and that's it.
Yeah. So the guys on Binge Mode, which I reference a lot on this podcast because it's my favorite Game of Thrones podcast. Jason was talking about this, that in history, scorpions had existed before, but the only way it managed to bring down the dragon is because it got it lucky shot through the eye.
Yeah.
Through the eye into the brain. Dragon scales have been described as hard as steel. So just the fact that these things just were able to pierce the dragon así tranquilo to begin with is absurd.
No, I mean, listen, the force that those things come out with and whatever,
at a certain range.
Them piercing the dragon to me is not the issue.
Oh no, it's not the biggest issue by far. But I still have a little bit of an issue. And here's something I'm gonna throw at you. My bigger issue with all of this ambush scenario to begin with. And let's mention that the ambush happens, dragon dies, they tear apart the boats, they capture Missandei, right? Here's my thing. During the battle strategy session way back then, you have a person in the room who can put his brain into birds and see anything the fuck you want. Why is he not being? I wouldn't piss without asking him first.
And this is what, like, one of my original theories in the fight with the Night King was that Bran was gonna warg into like one of the dragons, a Night King's dragon or something.
Sure, a lot of people thought
kind of take it over and like do something instead of just sitting there for 45 minutes with your eyes rolled back, like you said, and then like, okay, thanks, Theon, you're a good man. Now go die.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like,
and now you have this resource. What is so pressing that you can't be like, yo, so this is the battle plan, boom, we're good. I need no tactician worth their salt throughout the history of our species has failed to scout ahead prior to a battle.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. King's Landing and Dragonstone are right there. So
why wouldn't you think that there would be boats around there?
He's already ambushed you once, wiped out your other fleet, killed a bunch of your allies. Send them away. Send the fucking Ravens. Have the Ravens go take a look at King's Landing and be like, oh shit, this is where we want to go. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, they have bullet. She knows they have them because
they've already fired at her.
So like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And this is not on it. John wasn't at the loot train attack. She was.
Yeah.
So she should have known.
Yeah,
these people have this weaponry.
I had a feeling this was gonna happen. She was. I felt she was a little overpowered for this battle for the throne with 2 dragons.
Sure.
So I knew they had to kill one of the dragons off.
But do it better.
Yeah, do a better job. I thought it was going to be, the first battle. They're charging the castle. The castle's lined with these things like we saw. They start firing. Boom, 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 boom. One lucky shot hits the dragon like in the neck and kills it and whatever. And all of a sudden now she has 1 dragon before the battle even really gets underway. It's similar to what happened. It's just the way it happened was very... Honestly, I would have felt even more comfortable had them taken over the island, had a couple of ballistas on that island, and she lands on the island, and she's not expecting anything, and all of a sudden, boom, they pop up, and they just
from the ground when he's landed, but not in the air. Like so,
he's having trouble taking off because of his wing, whatever the case may be. They ambush him, but like. She's flying up there. She doesn't see the boats. They shoot over a ridge, and like I don't know. It was annoying.
Here's another thing about what you said about Drogon being super hard to hit and Rhaegal not. So she fucked Rhaegal and Viserion over by locking them in the pyramid. They grew slower and less than Drogon did. She also took forever to find. She never found Viserion a rider. And she took forever to find a rider for Rhaegal. So they didn't have the same kind of battle experience that Drogon had. The only time they were used in a battle was at the end in the Battle of Slaver's Bay. Drogon had already kind of been doing this and dealt with shit and whatever. He had experience points that Rhaegal and Viserion didn't have. They leveled up. She unbalancedly leveled her party. Let's just put it out there. That's on her. That's not on Sansa or Arya or Jon or anybody else. Yeah. She locked her dragons in the fucking pyramid, and she fucked them over for seasons. Not for like an episode, for seasons. So, like, this is all directly responsible for that shit. She's got to own that, dude. Like, oh, it's her children. Yeah, dude, but it was her children then.
And the other thing is, like, the dragon's injured, and you're going to make him fly halfway around the world? Yeah. Like, build a big-ass platform on one of the boats and have him just sit on a fucking boat and, like, just relax.
Or leave him north.
No, you need the dragon. But, like...
Or wait.
Put him on one of the boats and let him just perch on one of the boats and just kind of... Like, why is he flying around with a fucked up wing?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing should have been to wait. But...
Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Whatever. That... Anyway.
I mean, shit, even scout ahead, like...
No, listen,
I'm sure
use Bran.
I'm sure the army walking down to King's Landing is, has a couple of horses, half a day's ride ahead of them scouting.
Yeah. It's egregious that they're... Yeah. And let's say that the argument is Bran is unwilling to influence those types of events that way. Sure, the Night King's one thing, but the politics shit is not his shit. Give me that. Show me that conversation. Give me 30 seconds of Bran saying, I'm
not interested in that. That doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
I can't involve myself in those things, which is crap because he's done it when he needed to.
I mean, just giving Jon the information that's gonna, play a huge
done it when he
in the
needed
realm.
To. But at least that would have been an explanation as to why they're not using what is an even more powerful weapon than the dragons themselves. Because in any world, anywhere, in any fucking realm, information is the single most powerful thing you can have.
Of course. And you have a guy that can fucking mind control people and like get in their head and look at their shit and take over for them. Like, why can't he just warg into Euron and have Euron like
murder Cersei,
shoot his own boats down, or murder Cersei, or get in the zombie mountain's brain and have him just chop everybody in half?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
That not using him to scout ahead is just criminal negligence. And, everybody in that room's got to own that. Tyrion's got to own that. Varys got to own that. I mean, this is Varys' expertise, right? It's information.
Yeah.
Varys got to own that.
No, yeah. I told you I was kind of hoping he'd die in the crypts. I mean, he hasn't done shit. Now, obviously, he's going to play a role in betraying Dany for some weird reason, or at least we think that's what's going to happen. But... yeah, I mean, he's been useless for 2 seasons.
All right, and then we wrap up with the Missandei. Tyrion tries to negotiate with Cersei one more time. Obviously, that wasn't gonna work. I don't know what his obsession is about negotiating with this woman. She's tried to kill him 1,000 times.
Yeah, and why? Honestly, and we spoke about this. Why didn't she just kill him
right there?
Like, she's been trying to kill him since they were little kids, practically. She despises him.
Yeah.
She sends a friend of his practically to go kill him, like, a couple of days earlier. Why not just... okay, archers, just,
Yeah, you just put a bounty on his head. He's right there.
Yeah. Just pop a couple of arrows in his ass, have this guy decapitated.
Right in mid-sentence. Like, Cersei,
don't do this for the...
Yeah.
And apparently, they're all master marksmen.
And here's another thing. He's telling her, do it for your baby. She just told Euron like 5 minutes ago that she was pregnant and that the baby was his. If you're Euron, aren't you like,
how the hell do
bro,
you
how
know?
you know about the baby?
Yeah.
That is shocking that would happen that way. And they wouldn't even cut to his face, like going like raise the people's eyebrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is just shocking. Yeah. So then you get the whole shit, boom, they murk Missandei.
Which I really hope... I was kind of hoping the mountain would just come up behind her, pick her up by her head, watermelon...
crush it like Oberyn.
And then just toss her body off of it. Like, just something really gangster.
Yeah.
Like, decapitation, okay, whatever. It's shocking she died.
Well, I think the decapitation is just kind of a callback to Ned and all that shit.
No. I want to see... what's his face? Gallagher, watermelon smashing, like, and then like toss her off like
Oberyn Martell.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the guy, the comedian that smashes the watermelons and they explode everywhere.
Got it.
Yeah, I want to see like him pick her up, like helpless little girl, and she screams whatever she's gonna scream, and she just pops her like a pimple.
Yeah, I wasn't hoping for that, but
no, I mean, obviously, I wasn't hoping for her character to die, but it was inevitable. Yeah. It was gonna happen. I think it's another missed that would have been like shockingly, mouth on the floor type scene that they could have done that would have been like, holy crap.
I understand again how seeing Dany's reaction there might send people into this path about whatever she's gonna. That's it. She's lost Jorah. She lost 2 dragons. She's lost Missandei. She's gonna go nuts. And we're about to get to that right now. But I feel bad only because I think that you kept Missandei and Grey Worm alive during the Long Night battle for that. That seems kind of weird and anticlimactic.
Maybe it's the straw that breaks her camel's back type thing. Maybe that's the one thing. Seeing her best friend, her most trusted,
person
left. Yeah, just.
And then not only that, but then she says Dracarys, which was
yeah, awesome. Like, what else could she have said? Like, that's.
It's too bad she didn't say nothing to my boy Grey Worm. Like, yo, I love you, dude. Nothing, just Dracarys. So
that would have been cheesy, I think.
Yeah, I get you, but
I mean, he wouldn't have been able to really hear her. Hey, Grey Worm.
She heard. They all heard Dracarys.
Yeah, which I think was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
In real life, they were like 400 yards away, and they.
Here's another one. If the dragons were in range in the air earlier, wouldn't he have still been in range of
the
ones-
ballistas. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That-
Yeah. No. She could have right then and there.
She could have wiped them
She
all
could
out.
have just said, okay, the second they hit that little line right there, everybody just like what? She has one dragon and defender. She had maybe 50
Dudes.
unsullied.
Yeah.
Her nymph.
Varys.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like right then and there, I would have opened the gates. You march out 2,000 men. You wipe her out. The ballistas take care of the dragon. Game
Winner,
over.
winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand the point of not like just surprise attack. Bam, everybody's dead.
I mean, you just surprise attacked once.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And with
get
her down and the last dragon down, you're wiping out Jon and his army coming in, with your eyes closed.
it. Yeah.
So
Right.
that part I don't understand. But again, she could have killed Tyrion right then and there, a couple arrows.
All right.
And it's not like he's running off anywhere with those little feet.
True that. His 40 times not.
No, God, it's horrible.
No. All right. So then that kind of wraps up our thoughts on the show and how it went. Now we're going to get into kind of like theorizing and predictions for next week. So the first part about it is let's just get right into this one. So we can wrap up Dany. Do you think she's going to go Mad Queen? Do you think she's going to go and
I don't
burn them all,
No,
not care about the civilians, justify all the shit that Varys believes?
No. I think the bigger thing with her is that she's going to end up not doing that. She's going to listen to reason. I think the word of Jon and everything is, it's going to get back to her. I think she's going to end up betraying Jon.
Oh, shit.
I think she's going to end up betraying Jon. It's going to go either one of two ways. Either she's going to betray Jon and kill him, or have somebody kill him, or whatever. Or she's going to try to betray Jon. He's going to end up killing her, and then everything else is going to play out. I don't think she's going to go scorched earth, like, fuck them, like they're all going to die now. I don't think she's going to end up doing that. I think they're going to talk her off the ledge.
I don't know that they're going to talk her off the ledge anymore. So here's my thing. I also agree. I don't think she's going to go Mad Queen. This is where I stand for her a little bit. Every single time she's been faced with a fucked up situation on this show, she's pulled a power move that nobody was expecting. How she got the Unsullied, again, my favorite scene, when she burned all the calls, and that's how she got her Khalasar. She's played power move after power move after power move every time the situation gets shit. During the Battle of Marine, when they were just torpedoing the town and the 3 slave masters are there trying to make her surrender, and she tells them, yeah, I'll surrender. Like, every time, dude. So I think she's got one more gangster move up her sleeve. Here's what I think. So in the trailer for next week, you see that shot where you hear the dragon and you see Euron kind of looking up in the air, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I think she's going to go to Gendry, and Gendry's going to make her some kind of armor for Drogon. And that's how she's going to be able to
protect against the
ballista, fly to the fucking Red Keep. She's burning the Red Keep down. We saw that in one of Bran's visions. In one of Bran's visions, you see the Red Keep covered in ash and whatever. You see the shot of Drogon. Remember in the vision where it's just the one dragon flying over the city? We're gonna get that. I think she's gonna come up with that power move, and they're not gonna see that shit coming. And Cersei, that's when Cersei's gonna have her oh shit moment.
It's just like it. The reason I don't think that's gonna happen is like she's tried so hard to get onto the Iron Throne, and now she's just gonna burn it to ash.
Well, she's not gonna burn the throne. She's gonna burn the castle down and bring it down around Cersei. The Iron Throne it's gonna take a lot more to burn it than it's gonna burn the actual castle around it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if she sets the castle on fire, it's all coming down.
I don't know. I just think that they wouldn't have shown that vision not to have it come to pass at some point.
Yeah, I don't know.
And here's the thing. If you wipe out Drogon, and I don't remember if we talked about this on the air or not. We may have addressed it before we start recording. If you've already wiped out, most likely, the possibility of there ever being dragons anymore in the world, which pisses me off because you spent 8 seasons building bringing dragons back into this world just to wipe them all out. Unless they're gonna bust out some shit that he can just lay eggs on his own, which would be great. But they haven't established that one way or the other.
Yeah.
So that very likely means Drogon's gonna die too.
Okay.
Because if Dany's gonna die, Drogon's gonna die.
Well, I mean,
because you're not gonna have Drogon just be chilling and Dany's alive. I mean, and Dany's dead, right?
Yes. Yeah. Unless
they've been linked, inextricably linked this whole time. That's his rider. She's his.
I think he's gonna die.
So that, I mean,
but I'm okay with that. See, like
that might put a dent in my armor theory. But, maybe it's just armor enough to get her in position.
Yeah, it could be. Very, very much so. I don't see it as a problem. Like, the whole point of the dragons was to try to get her on the throne. Once she's on the throne, the dragons go away.
See, I don't think the whole point of the dragons... I think this is a fantasy story at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you can't have a fantasy story without the magical elements to it. And the dragons are a big part of that. The dragons... Remember when she's in the House of the Undying and the guy says, your dragons make my magic stronger. Like, the presence of dragons in the world brings with it an enhancement to magic and shit like that.
But how many years have gone by with them not having dragons around?
No, I get it. But then, I don't know. Then I just think
I think the whole point of the dragons is just to get her on the throne. Or to give you the idea that, they're... to get her on the throne, the power that she's going to have to get on the throne. Once she's on the throne, if she ends up on the throne, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess. I wouldn't like to see that. To wrap that part up, I don't think she's going to go Mad Queen. I think she's going to bust out a gangster move, and then we'll go from there. What do you think Jaime's going to do? Let's talk about Jaime.
All right, so the whole Jaime thing kind of pissed me off. I think the conversation that he had with Bronn, when Bronn said, no, your sister's going to die. The second I saw those dragons, I knew she was going to die. Like, she ain't going to pay up. That's why, I guess that's why he made the deal with them. So they, he's hedging his bets. So
right.
Whichever side wins, he's going to win. So, but I think just that comment of saying, like, no, your sister's fucked, hit Jaime. And I think he's going to go back to try to save
Cersei.
Try to save Cersei, sorry, yeah. I think he's actually going back. I think he's just, that's his weakness, man. That's his.
But how's he going to save her from dragons?
Maybe not save her from dragons, but...
Or dragon.
Try to convince her, like, hey, let's just run away. Let's just something. Let's, we bend the knee and we go back to Castle Rock and we just live our own life and just, you're not going to serve our baby. You do it for our child. Do it for our house, for our future. Like, he's going to try to do something.
Right.
To save her in whatever way he can. Now, is that what's going to happen? I don't know. But I don't think he's going there. He didn't initially leave Winterfell with the intention of killing her. It might happen. We spoke about him possibly finding out that she told Euron that the baby is Euron's and not his. And that might piss him off. And he might want to try to attack Euron and Euron kills him, or the mountain kills him, or something like that may happen. It might kind of flip a switch, but the initial reason why he's leaving Winterfell, I don't think it's to kill Cersei. I think it's to try to save her or the baby or whatever it is that he can. I think she's his weakness, man, and he's gonna do whatever he can to save her.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the other camp. I think that he's come too far in his redemption arc, and I think it would be incredibly bad writing for that to be the case.
But my issue with it is, why not just say it? Why not just stop here and listen?
Well, because they want this conversation. This is the thing about this show. This is the thing about this show.
That's bad writing in itself.
But this is the thing about this show. This show, part of what has made this show such a big deal is it comes out on Sunday, and we spend all fucking week talking about it.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So they need to keep giving us things to speculate about. That's why they didn't show Sansa and Arya's reaction to Jon. I disagree with it. That's why they didn't do it. And in this case, that's why he was ambiguous, because they want you to not understand, know what his motivation is.
Just
he leaves.
She gets up. She looks out the window, or
there's like a
opens
note
the door.
that she reads, but he doesn't. But he
says
we don't see it.
Yeah, there's something I have to do.
No, she reads the note, but we don't see the note, and
Dude,
she doesn't.
Even just she runs out the door and she looks, and in the distance, in the moonlight, you see the little horse, and he's on it, and he's riding off, and there's no exchange. There's no reason why he's leaving, and then you can assume, okay, it can be one of one of two things really.
Yeah.
It's either to kill Cersei or save her. He wouldn't leave for any other reason,
Right.
or just have him say, like, she runs out and she meets him at the horse, and he's like, listen, there's something I have to do. You wouldn't understand. I'm sorry. If I make it through this, I'll come back for you.
Right.
And gets on the horse and leaves, and she's,
But see, I think if he does that, I think the reason he made it seem like he was going back for Cersei is to keep Brienne out of the fight. Because I think now he realizes he loves her and wants to keep her safe.
No, man. I think she's sworn to help Sansa and all that shit. She's not leaving. Just tell her, hey, man. I mean, even the worst, say, hey, I'm gonna go kill my sister. Yeah. I'm the one that's gonna end this. I have to do this. I know my way around. I know how to get in there. She'll drop her defenses if she sees me. I'll convince her something, and I'm gonna kill her. Just tell her the fucking plan. You can't come.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back for you when this is all over. Stay here.
Yeah, but I think if you tell her the plan, then you tell us the plan. And but they want to do that. They're trying to hit you with. Right now at this point, it's just about they're trying to surprise people.
Then leave it in mystery, man. He rides off. She wakes up. She sees him in the distance moonlight. It leaves everybody kind of wondering. Okay, is he gonna kill her? Is he gonna save her? What's he gonna do? Is he running away? Is he, whatever. But but I love her. And I did all this bad stuff for her. I know. I think again he might flip the switch if shit kind of hits the fan when he gets there. But I think he's going because he's trying to save her and the baby.
Okay.
I mean, all his other kids are dead, right?
Yeah. So, Clegane Bowl, we're pretty sure we're getting it?
Yes.
Okay. Arya, what's Arya going to do?
Arya is going to try to kill Cersei. I think Jaime's going to end up dying, and she's going to take his face and kill Cersei.
Okay. So, Arya would have been responsible for killing the Night King and Cersei. So, she
wins. She wins.
She final boss. She beat both final bosses.
Game. Yeah.
Okay.
She wins the game.
We talked about Dany. What happens with Varys and that whole shit?
I think Varys...
There's a shot. Sorry to cut you off. They released a still picture today of Varys walking on a beach with Jon. Walking on the beaches of Dragonstone with Jon.
So I think what's going to happen is Dany's going to betray Jon.
Okay.
I don't think she's going to be in this whole, let's just get married happily ever after bullshit. I think she's going to kill Jon. She's going to try to kill Jon or kill Jon. One of the two, that whole situation's going to happen. She's going to betray Jon, and I think Varys is going to be the one that's going to be behind the whole thing. Either in Jon's ear, kind of warning him, hey, listen, be careful, this is what's going to happen, and that's how Jon maybe prevents it from happening. Or he might even be the one in Dany's ear hey, because he knows if Dany turns on Jon and Jon kills her,
that's it, problem solved.
Yeah, problem solved. Yeah. If Jon kills her, problem solved. If she kills Jon...
Problem solved.
Problem solved because everyone's going to turn on her.
Right.
And that's actually what I think is going to happen. I think my prediction is she betrays Jon and kills him. Everybody turns on her because of him. He's going to, he's going to start whispering around. Sansa's going to end up on the throne.
Yeah, it keeps leaning more and more towards Sansa ending up on the throne.
Yeah. The 5 endings I think that are either going to happen is they end up married happily ever after. They rule together. Not going to happen. Dany ends up on the throne without Jon. Not going to happen. Very unlikely. Jon ends up on the throne by himself without Dany. Very unlikely. So it's either Cersei wins the whole damn thing, and it's just her. Euron's dead because she has him killed because she doesn't want his baby. Tyrion's dead. Jaime's dead.
Yeah.
And then the real fight for the throne is Sansa and her. And then we might not ever see that, but she may just whatever. Cersei wins. She's popping out another little freaking Lannister, and that's who's gonna end up being king. The show's gonna end with her popping that kid out and raising him up in the air like you're gonna, exactly,
Yeah.
like you're gonna be the next great ruler. Blah, blah, blah. Or it's gonna be in the Sansa. I think it's gonna be one of those two in the end.
I don't think. As interesting as it could be if they write it the right way, I don't think there's a chance in shit hell that Cersei wins.
It's starting to.
The thing is, to
leaning
me,
more.
you gotta look at it like I look at it like wrestling. Right before WrestleMania, if you have for the championship match, you have the good guy and the bad guy. The bad guy always, that Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, ends up fucking like, yeah, bitch, like he fucks him up and he gets the one up on him, and they always end it with that so that when Mania comes, the good guy wins and you get the drama or whatever. That's been wrestling writing since we were children.
Yes, that's exactly why I don't watch it anymore. But think of this. What if Dany does your power move? What if her power move is to just scorch the whole goddamn town? Now, is she the bad guy? With the last power move before the Super Bowl, before, WrestleMania?
That would be the Mad Queen theory. That would be her going full on Mad Queen, which I don't... I think that if we're going to talk about what the end game is, I think Dany busts out the power move. She roasts Euron and his whole fleet. Jaime, the Mountain kills Jaime. Right before the Clegane Bowl happens, the Mountain kills Jaime. Arya
steals his
face. Kills Cersei as Jaime. Jon and Dany have their showdown. Right? I always thought Dany was going to die in childbirth, and I thought they were going to try the marriage thing, and Dany's going to die in childbirth, and then Jon would die in the battle against the Night King. That didn't go that way. So I don't know how the Jon and Dany thing ends up, but I don't think Cersei ends up on the throne.
So no Cersei,
no
Jon, no Arya.
No, Arya might live.
Oh no, live. I'm saying not on the throne. She's not on the throne. No Dany, no Jon.
I think there's gonna be some kind of maneuvering that also ends up with Sansa on the throne. Let's go there. I agree with you. I don't know how we're gonna get there.
Now,
but I think Sansa ends up on the throne also.
Jon dies. Cersei dies. All the Lannisters are dead.
Who kills Jon? Let's say it's not your way. Let's say who kills Jon? Who else could kill Jon if it's not Dany? I guess that's the $1 million question.
That's what. There's really nobody. That's what I'm saying.
He's not gonna get killed by fucking Euron Greyjoy.
No, he's not. He's not gonna get killed by the Mountain.
I mean, it's possible.
I don't think so. I think he gets killed because he's gonna get betrayed. And now, let's say Dany dies, Jon dies, all the Lannisters are dead. Arya's not gonna end up on the throne. What about our boy Gendry?
Gendry? Yeah, he's a Baratheon.
Now he's a lord. Now he's a lord. He's got a castle. He's got an army. He's got a name. He technically is the rightful king name right now.
Right.
He's a Baratheon. He's the oldest Baratheon. He's the only Baratheon. He technically can stroll right into that motherfucker and say, hey, listen, boop, I'm king.
Yeah.
What if that happens? Supposedly, there's something going around that says the writers say the person that ends up on the throne is somebody that you don't expect. I heard that kind of floating around. Maybe,
I haven't read that. I don't doubt it.
But
I haven't read that anywhere, but I don't doubt it. I think that's going to be the case. It's got to be Sansa.
Yeah, I'm starting to lean towards Sansa. I think she's
if
going to
this show, after all of this crap, ends up right back with a fucking Baratheon on the throne, I'm going to fucking murder somebody.
What if it's Tyrion, and he does actually end up being half Targaryen?
I don't think he has to be half Targaryen to end up on the throne.
No, I'm just saying.
At this point, it doesn't matter because there's no drag. Like the whole thing about him being half Targaryen
what if he stays with Drogon?
After Dany dies, Drogon accepts him as a writer. That would be so funny.
He's just like he's just clinging on.
He would need the Hound to throw him up on top of the dragon every time he wanted to fucking ride him.
Is the Hound gonna die? Like he
like they kill each other?
Yeah.
Like double clothesline.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally what happened with him and the Red Viper.
Yeah.
With the Mountain of Red Viper, where they both died.
So here's something I thought had to happen that I said last week. I don't think there's any way the Hound can beat the Mountain without a Valyrian steel sword. So I was pretty shocked that we didn't see what Sam did with Heartsbane after the other battle.
Oh, I'm hoping he takes it back and he takes his house.
Yeah, but he doesn't need it.
No, but it's a symbol. It's still a symbol of his house and his, and
I get it. I just don't know that
it has great story behind it.
Yeah,
like something you pass down to your kids.
I definitely think that ends up with like a double count out right there.
Yeah.
Double KO. They kill each other.
Yeah. Or the hound's dying and Arya's there and help me, and he's like on his and she's like,
and she gives him the mercy. Finally.
Nah, I think she says, nah, fuck. That'd be, oh man, she's...
No, I think she'll give him the mercy. I think that's how they close that loop about how, how far he's come in her eyes, that she gives him the mercy. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible Tyrion ends up on the throne. If he doesn't end up on the throne, does he survive this?
I think he survives. I think he survives and he ends up being the hand of whoever.
Dude, worst hand ever.
He was, I don't know, man. He's made some bad decisions, but he's made some really good decisions, like early on.
Yeah, dude, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, listen, Dany still trusts him. Whatever. I think Jon trusts him enough.
Sansa definitely.
Definitely trusts him. No, Sansa trusts him.
See, but I don't think she did that because she trusts him. I think she did that
because she knows that he's gonna run his mouth.
I think she's Littlefinger now.
Oh yeah, she's the that's why I think she's gonna end up on the throne. Fucking favorite character ever.
So
I mean, she's not.
I don't know
Littlefinger, but
I don't know that she'd keep Tyrion for a hand.
I think she would. I mean, who else does she have? Arya's not gonna stick around. Bran is a freaking creeper.
The dude.
No, Bran's a creeper, dude. Bran's like...
But who better?
Bran's going to sit in a
Sansa's the only person
somewhere.
smart enough to understand what she has at her disposal.
Bran's not going to...
So then what happens with Bran? Where does Bran go?
No, I think Bran kind of goes off and becomes a third-eye raven, or he's going to...
He just goes back to the tree?
He's going to stay in Winterfell. She's going to become queen. He's going to stay in Winterfell, and he's just going to do his third-eye raven shit from Winterfell, from the real weird tree with the face on it. Arya, I think, is going to go become the, faceless god trainer. And
so you think she's just going to go back to Bravos and take Jaqen's spot?
I don't think she's going to be, anybody's lady. Okay. I don't think she's going to, Storm's End and marrying Gendry and whatever. I think she's like, no, this is like, she's going to train the next group of fucking crazy faceless assassins.
What if she dies?
That's impossible. That's one of the few story arcs that I would just be like, okay, that's just stupid. Like it's.
So you think it'd be stupid if she goes to King's Landing, tries to kill Cersei, the Mountain intervenes, Mountain kills her?
No, yeah, it's dumb.
Or okay,
maybe Mountain tries to kill her, and then that's when the Hound steps in and saves her life. Maybe that's why she gives him mercy at the end and, whatever. But no, I don't think...
What if the whole thing shakes out, Cersei loses, Jon and Dany are still alive. Dany goes to betray Jon, like you said.
Arya kills Dany.
Yeah. Or Dany's dragon kills Arya before Arya can kill Dany.
Arya's going to kill Cersei, or Arya's going to kill Dany.
Because we haven't seen a direct interaction between Arya and Dany yet.
Because I think what's going to happen is Arya's going to, they're going to know that Dany betrayed her. Varys is going to whisper, and she's going to bloom into somebody, and she's going to fucking kill Dany. I just love her. She's gonna be awesome. Best. She's gonna be fucking awesome. The best. That shirt that they have of her in the air like Jordan with the knife and it just says Arya. Oh, that shit is gangster.
That shit is the best. Who else do we want to kind of talk about where they're gonna end up? Anybody else?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Grey Worm's dead, I think. I think he's gonna go balls to the wall and just kind of
try and kill the Mountain. Mountain's gonna break him in a million pieces.
He's gonna pick him up and snap him like a twig. And I mean that's really it. Bran stays in Winterfell. What's-her-face comes down, Arya leaves, Jon and Dany, all the Lannisters are dead except for Tyrion. If Tyrion doesn't become the hand, he's going to go back to Castle Rock and run that shit.
Bronn gets Highgarden? Does Tyrion make Sansa live up to the promise and give Bronn Highgarden?
I don't think it would be a bad idea.
Or does the show...
Actually, no, I think it would be a horrible idea.
Does the show close with everything's cool, everything's chilling, and then Bronn
steps in and
murders
just
fucking Tyrion
just
for
pops
not
him while he's sleeping
Yeah,
with some whore in Castle Rock.
that'd be awesome.
Nah, I honestly I don't think we're gonna see Bronn again.
Okay.
I don't. I think that's just kind of like, I'll see you after the battle, and maybe they all die and you just never see Bronn because.
How about Yara Greyjoy? Do you think, because they've mentioned a couple of times how she's taking back the Iron Islands for Dany? Anything?
No, I don't think she. I don't. Think
And the fact that Dorne promised their allegiance, you think anything comes from that?
No.
So
I mean,
they just
if
mentioned
Dany was smart, she'd take her time. She'd get the Dorne army. She'd
Well,
get the
I think we're gonna
Stormend's
have
army.
I think we're gonna have some time.
I
If you look at like just the previews for next week, it looks like she goes back to Dragonstone. It's not like the fight's gonna happen right then.
Oh no, I know. Yeah. No.
The army's got to march.
Yeah, she's got to wait for Jon to get there, which is gonna take.
Yeah, she's gonna go back to
time.
Dragonstone, and I think in that intermittent time there may be some other. Okay, how about Dario Naharis? You think we see him again? You think she reaches across the narrow sea, sends Yara to go get him, and the Second Sons?
No.
Okay.
I think Yara at most might be sending her boats to Dorne to bring some of them, but the smart thing would do is to get the Dorne army, get Stormend, and and have Jon convince Sam, like, hey, listen, we need the Tullys. Tarleys. Bring them.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think what they should have done was just what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, wait and recoup.
And fortify the rest of Westeros.
Yeah,
and
you little by little, as you march down, you take over whatever house you can. You get as many allegiances as you can, and you roll up to that doorstep with like.
I still can't believe
dragons.
that they've let Robert Glover live after he didn't show up to defend the North twice. Didn't show up for the Battle of the Bastards and didn't show up for the Battle of Winterfell. Like, fuck that. Yeah. I would have told Dany, yo, can I borrow Ray Gall just real quick? Yeah. Just real quick, dog. I'll send him to you.
I'm going to take a little side quest here.
I'm going to send him to you, dog. But I got to go murk this fool. Like, such a bitch.
No, I mean, and they haven't mentioned anything about Brienne's family. And
or Mira's dad and his people. Like, that was, at one point, I thought he was the linchpin. Because he was the only person that was alive, that is currently alive, that saw Jon's birth and knew the truth about it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the dude they were going to bust out at some point and be like,
yeah.
Like, here you go, here's the proof. And I don't know.
No, but I mean, I guess, they don't need it with Bran.
Sure.
Bran knows everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Anything else you want to add?
No,
predictions wise?
It's the episode was good. I figured this was going to be that episode that just kind of moved the story along to the final thing. It's
like the worst rated episode of the season so far. And supposedly like it was at 57 and still dropping on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I give a fuck about a Rotten Tomato score, but
I mean, I don't care. At the end of the day, it still had gazillion viewers, and that these last two episodes are going to be, I think. I mean, I'm hoping they're going to live up to the expectations. I just don't want it. I'd feel like shit if it was just rushed. Like, it was just, okay, it ends and that's it. And like, they don't, I'd love to see them tie up all the little loose ends.
Or as many of them as possible.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any way that they don't stick the landing here? Is there an outcome? Yeah. Is there an outcome that you would be just like, okay, this show, this was a waste of fucking 8 seasons of television?
No. This is one of the greatest shows, if not the greatest show ever made on television. Can they ruin the end? Yeah. How?
What's your ruined ending?
Like fucking Varys ends up on the throne or some shit like that.
Varys is not gonna.
Like I'm just saying some shit like that. Honestly, like the Tyrion ending up on the throne would be kind of like some shit like that. That I mean,
okay,
that'd be pretty shitty. Even Gendry ending up on the throne, even though he does kind of have a claim to the throne.
Yeah.
Again, like, even though she's not queen, does it still legitimize him, I guess you can say? Like, does it count that she made him a lord? Or is everyone going to be like, nah, fuck this dude? Like, that it wasn't the real queen that, gave him the title. So, like, that I think would be kind of weak. I think I wouldn't be opposed, even though I don't see it happening, I wouldn't be opposed to the whole just happy ending.
Yeah.
Danny, John together, they rule the thing, they have a baby. That's it, you know, maybe the dragon dies, but they have the kid, and that's, you know, everybody's happy ever
Their
after.
baby's like half human, half dragon.
No. You know, the way to tie in the North, for the North to bend the knee, you know, and everybody lives happily ever after. I don't see that happening the way the show is. You know, they kill off a lot of, you know, they're not afraid to do shit like that. I don't see John alone or Danny alone on the throne.
Okay.
If they're not together, I think both of them die.
Gotcha.
And then it's going to end up with Sansa.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, the episode, as many of the episodes have had since back to last season, had its problems. We talked about a lot of the shit that, you know, we disagree with, just storytelling wise. I think it's lazy not to use Bran. I think it's lazy the way the dragon got killed. I mean, we've covered all that. So either way, though, what they've accomplished with this TV show, to your point, is probably not going to be repeated again in our lifetime.
No. I mean, it's amazing. The show's great, and you know, there's hopefully a couple of spin-offs coming off of it.
Yeah, but I don't think the spin-offs get
these type
to
of
this.
no.
Because this was the last. There's no other TV show going right now that people sit around and wait to talk about and watch collectively as a species on Sunday. Not even Walking Dead anymore. We have to appreciate what they've done. I wish George was still around, kind of guideposting the show. I wish they wouldn't have rushed 7 episodes last season and 6 episodes this season. You know.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest gripe, like overall with the show. It doesn't matter about the certain characters or the moves they make or the decisions they do or this, that, and the other, or coffee cups, whatever. The gripe, I think, with everybody is like, oh man, that episode could have, you know, that one episode could have been broken up into 3 episodes, and they could have stretched it, and they could have had this, and, and the interaction with these 2 people, and blah, 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 blah.
And things would have made more sense that way.
Yeah. You know, last season could have been 2 episodes longer, 3 episodes longer. This season could have been a full 10-episode season, but, you know, money and budget and
actors getting bored.
Yeah, the real world plays a part in
Sure.
the way they have to do the show. But, no, I mean, it's, in my opinion, so far, it's the greatest show I've ever watched. And
this is the greatest Game of Thrones podcast you all have ever heard.
Sir.
So thank you, dude, for coming by. Short
Absolutely,
notice.
man, anytime.
Guys, remember again, subscribe, rate, review. 5 stars, you love us. 5 stars, you hate us. Best wishes again to half. Check out the show. You can check out the show page on Instagram at Back of the Bus Podcast. You can email the show with your feedback at backofthebusmiami@gmail.com. For those of you who have my phone number, you can just text me like you always do. D, my bad that we didn't have our Thrones conversation before we did the show this week, but we'll have it tomorrow. And that's it, bro. Peace out, everybody.
All right, man. Peace.
Valar Morghulis. All men must die.